Or girl?
No, I gotta walk her down the aisle.
I guess there's just always been this unspoken tension and quiet jealousy towards Robin, and today we're going in depth on it. Hey everybody, welcome back to TLC's Wives. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, because what we're about to learn about the Brown family may shock you. Let's speak of Cody Brown. The majority of the public is accustomed to knowing him as the surly, irascible sister wives star, but deep down, that crusty shell protects the very game players. Stranger still, it turns out Cody has a serious habit of collecting model kits and action figures, and not ordinary ones, that he has a special weakness for. Star, wars kits, and there's an additional dimension to this man, and that's only the tip of the iceberg with him. Life hasn't been particularly gentle on Cody through the years. From declaring bankruptcy in 2005 to experiencing 3 painful divorces with Christine, Mary and Janelle Brown, and then enduring the devastating loss of his son Garrison Brown, it's evident the man has had some very heavy loads on his shoulders when things get hard. Folks will go to hobbies as a means of coping, escaping, and finding some peace. That's why there are so many adults purchasing and hoarding toys, and it's more typical than you would suspect. Cody is no different. His stash is indicative of the more lighthearted, sentimental man. He never lets the camera. See, Star Wars action figures have been a treasured pastime for fans since the 1970s, from those early action figures to the current playful Lego incarnations with their goofy plastic hair. The allure never gets sold, and trust it or not, Cody's not the only individual in the Brown household with an unusual interest. As it happens, Robin Brown also has a collection of her own. Although it's slightly different, she's a doll collector, including the traditional American Girl designs. The shocking news, her doll collection is valued at an estimated $70,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $70,000 worth of dolls in her house. As for Cody, he enjoys displaying his favorite pieces, particularly in his bedroom, and though he likely didn't spend as much as Robin, a plain Millennium Falcon model alone would have set him back at least $100, if not more, depending on the model, thanks to a Reddit post that a user named Mindful Goat Nugget posted. Fans were treated to a glimpse of Cody's collection. Among the model spaceships and small robot figurines, one of the standout items is a highly detailed Star Wars Millennium Falcon in the lower right part of his collection. And for those who are interested, a Bandai Hobby 144 scale model kit of the Millennium Falcon is retailing for about $111 at leading online stores. But there's one more surprising item in Cody's stash, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for it. Of course, when one is talking about collectibles of Star Wars, one is also able to find versions of the Millennium Falcon that are more expensive than the standard models, and one of those special limited release designs might be in Cody's own possession. A one-off online sale of a special edition Rise of Skywalker Millennium Falcon is uncannily similar to the one seen in Cody's old Flagstaff, Arizona residence. Now here's where the tale gets another twist. That house incidentally was sold for a jaw-dropping $1.75 million. But Cody and Robin didn't go small afterwards, they actually went bigger. The two went on to buy a second, even larger house in the same city. This one with a whopping $2.1 million price tag. And if you're thinking, what does a house like that look like inside? Stay with us, because it's far from your typical suburban home. Their new estate provides ample space to flaunt their expanding toy and collectibles collection. And though the couple often comes under fire for their extravagant lifestyle, it is obvious that Cody and Robin love the notion of being around the things they adore, regardless of whether others approve or not. One item that has been speculated to be included in Cody's collection is a General Grievous action figure. While it's difficult to tell, because some of the photos are a bit fuzzy, if that figure truly is what people assume it will be, it suggests that Cody has a secret love for the dark side of the Star Wars franchise. General Grievous, after all, is one of the most intimidating villains, with 4 lightsabers and a fierce combatant, and if you thought the toy collection was crazy, wait until you see their home decor. Aside from the collectibles featured in fan photos during a 360-degree virtual tour of their former home, which appeared in a Reddit thread, fans saw a glimpse of the couple's fearless decorating taste. And it's something you have to see to believe. Picture a bedroom straight out of medieval fantasy, with huge exaggerated bedposts, dark purple walls, and a silver padded headboard worthy of royalty. It's an unmistakably distinctive vibe, half medieval castle, half mid-range Las Vegas hotel room. Not quite what you thought. Well, it gets even better, love it or hate it. It's great that Cody and Robin unashamedly pack their house with items that bring them joy, even if everyone else's taste isn't quite the same. Decorating your space with furniture, decor, and collectibles you adore is something everyone should get to do. Most of those users commenting on those Reddit threads, however, couldn't quite fathom Cody and Robin's decision, but as always with this family where there's drama, there's intrigue, and you won't want to miss what we're uncovering in our next video about their new home. And the surprising thing fans just noticed inside, although responses to Cody's toy stash aren't quite dynamite, what actually draws people in, and sometimes disgusts or completely bewilders them, is the house decor, and to be honest. The most humorous internet comments are always about the house, not the toys. Even one critic isolated Robin for what they labeled the faux royal vibe of the master bedroom, and really, they may have a point. The room appears to be something conjured up by a princess, or perhaps a 12-year-old girl who is enamored of the color purple one fan, confessed, "Before I read the description, I genuinely thought it was a kid's room. But is this simply innocent taste, or are Robin and Cody going too far with the pricey trinkets and the extreme house decor? It's obvious they're not afraid to spend on what they desire, and though some of their fans judge their spending, it appears Christine Brown, one of Cody's ex-wives, is getting in on the action in her own way. Christine was the first of the sister wives to defect from the plural marriage, and she wasted no time in finding happiness. She's married now to David Woolley, and the two appear to be doing well. Indeed, the pair just purchased a house in Moab, Utah, and they're even converting it into an Airbnb. What a plot twist in this reality TV drama as the universe of Star Wars keeps growing. Cody's constantly fluctuating life expands along with it. The introduction of everyone's favorite, Baby Yoda, feels strangely symbolic, a splash of cuteness in the midst of mayhem. And although Cody has lost so much over the past few years, with his former wives moving on, it somehow feels like the final pieces are coming together for him. And here's where things take an interesting turn for better. Or worse, Robin and Cody do make sense. Their union isn't ideal. It's far from it, but it works for them. Cody adores Robin and doesn't want to add another wife to the mix, and Robin appears to be perfectly happy being monogamous in a weird way. Cody finally gets to live authentically for the first time in years. No more acting, no more pretending to be a husband to women he does not love, and as anyone who's ever been in a relationship like this can attest, you pretending to be in love does not good things for your mental health. So in a sense, even with all of the drama, heartache, and crazy decorating decisions.
We met in person for about a month after we started talking. We met in person.
Cody's universe is opening up in a healthier, more real place. And if you think this is where the saga ends, think again. More is cooking within the Brown family orbit. And we'll be discussing every piece of it in future episodes. So you should be sure to be subscribed because you won't want to miss what's coming next, though. Responses to Cody's toy stash aren't so much explosive. What really puts people in awe and sometimes horror or in complete dismay is the house decor. The most amusing comments online are usually always about the house, not the toys. One reviewer even pointed fingers at Robin for what she labeled the faux royal vibe of the master bedroom. And seriously, they may be right, the bedroom resembles something a princess or a 12-year-old girl who loves the color purple would dream up. One of the fans confessed before they read the description. They actually thought it was a child's bedroom. Is this harmless taste, or are Robin and Cody getting a bit carried away between the pricey collectibles and the over-the-top home furnishings? It's obvious they're not afraid to splurge on what they desire, and although there are some who mock their expenses, it looks as though Christine Brown, a previous wife of Cody's, is getting an update on her own. Christine was the earliest of the sister wives to get out of the plural union, and she hadn't lost much time discovering she was happy again. She's currently married to David Woolley, and things appear to be going great, actually. The couple just purchased a house in Moab, Utah, and they're even making it an Airbnb. As the universe of Star Wars grows larger, so too does Cody's constantly shifting world. The debut of beloved Baby Yoda, or Gru, feels strangely symbolic, a small burst of cuteness in the midst of mayhem. And although Cody has lost a great deal in recent years with his former wives moving on, it almost seems like the pieces are finally coming together for him, like it or not. Robin and Cody really do make sense as a couple. Their relationship isn't ideal, far from it, but it works for them. Cody does care for Robin and does not want to add another wife into the equation, and Robin seems quite happy to be monogamous in a weird way. Cody now has the ability to be honest for the first time in years. No more acting. No more pretending to be a who's-been to women he no longer cares about, and as anyone who's ever been in a relationship like that will tell you, pretending to love someone isn't great for your mental health. So in a sense, despite all the heartbreak drama and crazy decorating decisions, Cody's universe is opening up in a healthier, more genuine way. And if you think this is the end of the story, think again. There's more simmering within the Brown family bubble, and all of it is sure to keep viewers chattering. Recently, Cody appeared to be working hard to reconnect with his older kids, many of whom have had long-standing problems with him. And for the first time in some time, it truly seems genuine in a surprising gesture. Cody even reallocated segments of the Coyote Pass family property, assigning more to Mary and Janelle for a man repeatedly charged with selfishness and control. It's a small but significant change. He's mellowing out little by little his accumulating toy stash and the personal items he keeps around. Him at home could perhaps be an attempt to find some comfort in the midst of what's clearly been an emotionally draining chapter of his life. Cody is still hurting, and he always will the death of. His son Garrison marked him in a way that no one can fully comprehend, while followers once playfully referred to him as Darth Vader, the hard-aloof villain of the galaxy. It's obvious now that such a caricature doesn't apply. Grief alters individuals, and for Cody, it appears to have begun a quiet evolution when Coyote Pass went for $1. $5 million Cody and Robin allegedly took with them, about $750,000. Though they didn't get toe pocket the entire amount, it was a huge windfall, particularly for a family infamous for spending big on high-end toys and expensive David Ure jewelry. More significantly, however, is that Cody is now finally making an effort to contact his children. Nothing in life is more important than family. And when they're broken, it's up to the parent to begin the healing. Even adult children, however old they become, still need the love and reassurance of parents. It looks like Cody's starting to get that after all. That obstinacy and pride for all those years and all that was termed as a significant lack of self-awareness. Cody seems to finally be learning his lesson. It's not flawless, not by any means, but there is indeed forward progress, and if he keeps taking these modest, genuine steps, perhaps some of those broken relationships can someday be made whole. Again, because in the end, no collection, no mansion, and no flashy lifestyle can replace the love of your family. And if you're curious about what happens next, you'll want to stick around. Big moves are happening in the Brown family, and every twist and turn promises to keep fans on the edge of their seats. Cody Brown, a Star Wars enthusiast, to the extreme, appears to know that even the most dramatic lightsaber battles aren't going to last forever. Fights, no matter how far away or directly in one's own backyard, must reach their conclusion. And perhaps, just perhaps, if Cody can learn to avoid reverting to them manipulative behavior and dubious choices, there's still hope that he can mend the damaged relationships with his kids and repair his reputation. Among those suffering the most is Janelle Brown, who recently endured yet another painful Mother's Day without her son by her side following the tragic loss of Garrison Brown in 2024. Janelle has been living through the unimaginable now. 56, she's lived through an unprecedented level of heartache in recent years after being the second wife. In the Brown family's polygamous home, Janelle decided to leave Cody in 2022 after almost 3 decades of being together. Their marriage was already on shaky ground, but the COVID-19 pandemic pushed them further apart, and Janelle finally had to leave at the height of the sister-wife stint. Cody had 4 wives and 18 children, but by the time season 19 began, 3 of those wives had departed, and Cody's once great family was dispersed. Several of his children had cut him out of their lives. Entirely among them was Garrison, oldest off Cody and Janelle's 6 kids. In contrast to Cody, Janelle had warm, loving relationships with all of her children. She had a very special connection with Garrison, one that no mother's love could shield for all time since losing him. Janelle has had to endure her second Mother's Day without Garrison, an agony that words can hardly reach, and thought time will mute some hurts. There are wounds that never heal. TLC, to their credit, approached Garrison's death with tender respect. The grief was tangible, and the show conveyed it with the modest dignity it was due. Garrison will be remembered forever. Season 19 of Sister Wives is ongoing, and as the family's narrative continues to unfold, it's apparent that each of them is still trying to To figure out how to move on, some are seeking new love, others are holding onto the past, and some are just attempting to get by day. But one thing's certain, the drama isn't done yet. The sudden loss of 25-year-old Garrison.
The property is a little bit complicated because even though we have these 4 lots, our names are not all on title for these 4 lots. So
Brown shook the entire Brown family, while the family made their way to Wyoming to bury Garrison's ashes. It was a poignant moment of reunion for a family that had slowly drifted apart over the years. In a sense, it was like Garrison reunited them, albeit under tragic circumstances. As the family members gathered, they all recollected their love and memories for him, and for some, it was a very therapeutic experience. They recalled Garrison as a compassionate young man who loved animals and had a good sense of humor. It was a glimpse of how much he impacted the people around him. Grief for Janelle is almost too much to bear. The fact that Garrison will never lay eyes on his new home troubles her. She's attempted to ride out her grief with the quiet strength she's always been capable of since his death, but grief tends to pierce even the most robust defenses. No mother should ever have to lay a child to rest, and Janelle has found it difficult to reconcile that occasionally love alone is not sufficient to save an individual. It's a reality that had been hard for her to accept while discussing the new life she's creating for herself. New beginning on a farm in North Carolina with her 20-year-old daughter. Savannah Janelle thought about the new start, and the pain it brings. That new start, however, comes with a hurt that won't leave her alone. Garrison never got to behold the land that had excited her so much. He'll never walk those fields or help her settle into this new life. The emptiness left by his absence is something Janelle knows she'll carry with her forever. Garrison's death didn't only destroy Janelle. Christine Brown also has been shaken. Christine was there from the moment Garrison was born. She raised him alongside Janelle, who worked, and the family grew. Their relationship was more than familial duty. It was love. Christine and Garrison had an effortless closeness, and losing him has created a void in her heart too. And here's what gets even more emotional as these ongoing shared tragedies make their way through season 19 of Sister Wives. Shared losses and tensions are prompting everyone to re-examine their past decisions and makeshift bonds. Sister Wives viewers don't help but wonder, will these particular circumstances eventually soften up Cody's hardened heart? Will the family somehow heal together using their shared grief? Or will these particular wounds continue to fester quietly, further setting them apart? There's a rawness to this part of their story, and it's one you won't want to miss. Christine Brown was involved in Garrison's life so much more than a lot of fans might know. From the moment he was born, Garrison had almost every day with her, living in a household where Christine wasn't only a sister wife, she was essentially a second mother. Even after marrying David Woolley and leaving her marriage to Cody behind, Christine stayed very close to Janelle and her children. The relationship between them was not a mere polygamy formality. It was profound, genuine, and based on years of love and shared experience. Throughout season 19 of Sister Wives, Christine revealed to David things about Garrison, including fond memories and painful realities. She was thankful Garrison commeto her wedding with David, a day now more special, knowing it would be the first and only family celebration he would ever get to be a part of. That loss is probably a crushing burden on Christine, and the knowledge she has someone like her to share difficult times, such as Mother's Day, with must be a huge consolation to Janelle. But beneath the surface of this very public family drama is a far more complex portrait of Themen. At its center, Cody Brown, frequently depicted as unstable, controlling, and emotionally unavailable, conceals a much softer side, one that appears not in his speech but in the tiny trinkets of childhood fantasy he has held on to. For decades, his action figures, starship miniatures, robots, and fantasy memorabilia collection provides an unspoken glimpse into the core of an escapism-driven man with a yearning for the miraculous and to grasp something immaculate amidst ruin. Those little collector's items, most of them Star Wars inspired, reflect a boyish excitement that has somehow endured years of personal and financial struggle. At one time, Cody experienced crushing financial failure, officially declaring bankruptcy, but those losses paid in comparison to what followed. The vision of a huge blended plural family dissolved as wife after wife departed, carrying pieces of his life with them. And then the unimaginable grief, the death of his son Garrison, a loss so tragic it altered everything, even for a man sometimes likened to villains such as Darth Vader. One deserves to have to go through that sort of grief. The death of Garrison wasn't another sorrowful page in the Brown family's book. It was a deep transformation in Cody himself, one that fans are only just starting to see play out. It has everyone asking, will this be the break? Cody finally drops his guard. Will lost be the teacher pride could never be, or will he keep holding on to his old ways and lose what little family is left to him as Sister Wives season 19 continues on? One thing is certain. The tale is far from finished in a world with so much stress, judgment, and scrutiny from the media. Everybody needs an area to retreat to, a sanctum where they can feel comfortable and peaceful. Some people have meditation or vacations, others may have reading or music. But for Cody Brown, that sanctuary is in the form of meticulously designed metal and plastic. Characters, trinkets that sweep him away to bygone ages, and science, fiction galaxies a long, long way off. Toy collecting isn't about never wanting to grow up. It's about holding on to happiness and innocence in a world that feels so cold and unforgiving. Most adults cling to remnants of childhood, enchantment, and Cody's enthusiasm for these characters brings an unlikely harmony to his house. His girlfriend, Robin, enjoys it too, though her collection is in the form of porcelain dolls with intricately stitched dresses, each embodying a wistful femininity. Their mutual love of these sentimental trinkets creates a soft bridge between them, a spot where happiness isn't diminished by the critical judgments of others. This common enthusiasm once turned Cody's former bedroom into a sort of shrine amidst the royal drapes, gem-cold fabrics, velvet headboards, and castle-like bedposts. His collection proudly sat out in one corner, a miniature spacecraft, an obviously model replica of the legendary Millennium Falcon lent. Among miniature fighter ships and mechanical friends, these gems did not keep themselves secret. Rather, they seemed to blend in with the over-the-top, nearly storybook-style furnishings of a house where fantasy and reality merged at every corner. Even in their newest and much more opulent home, said to cost more than their old mansion, these cherished trinkets probably still have their quiet corner, hidden on glass shelves and stashed away in bedroom aisles. These small remnants of far-off galaxies still whisper their silent tales in the midst of luxury and space in a house. Some critics may deem over the top where outsiders would deride as extravagance. They are missing the deeper significance. These objects hold a comfort, a sense of continuity and identity that goes beyond ornament in the collection. Some fans have noticed a figure that looks like a terrifying warrior from a popular space, faring epic, an opponent who has more than 2 arms and unbeatable fighting prowess. Whether or not this is an exact comparison, it speaks to Cody's interest in the intricate harmony of darkness and power. These characters are not toys, they're symbols they refer to the internal conflicts between violence and peace, control and surrender, the emotional fights that rage beneath. Cody's frequently stern fade the house itself only furthers the mystery. Virtual tours show a dwelling space unlike any ordinary house, in which mid-century, modern and medieval fantasy converge. Gilded touches drawn from myth and classic works of literature blend with over-the-top design decision, emphasizing flair over functionality. Luxurious purples engulf the master bedroom, with silver tones glinting on a dramatic headboard to produce an atmosphere more similar to a Las Vegas Strip boutique hotel or theme park, theatrical attraction than family home to others. It might appear to be a confusing or indulgent way of life, but to Cody and Robin, it's an intensely personal story, one of identity, flight, and the quest for tranquility in an often bewildering world, conveyed through doll-sized characters and graphic design decisions. The luxurious textures and loud colors within their house are more than simply ornaments. They are a real-life expression of fantasies with intangible and immediate their lifestyle represents. A startling fusion of dreamlike fantasy and actual-life ramifications, freezing the emotional paradoxes they live with daily. The public reaction to their particular style and purchasing patterns has not been likewise gentle. However, internet blogs take apart each item of furniture and design aspect with a blend of irony and terror. The master bedroom in a special has elicited snarky criticism, with lots of viewers confusing it for a children's playroom before catching the full picture. In spite of the mockery, there is raw vulnerability underlying such over-the-top decisions, an earnest need to make something lovely. Even if it's misconstrued by the outside world, this lavish living sparks questions.
Hey guys, his first impressions of David. There.
Oh, wow. I like him.
That was like the most unsmooth transition ever.
That was not.
What the heck?
Whether Cody and Robin are living beyond their means, as whispers circulate about their expenditures, particularly in contrast to the simpler existence of those who previously shared their trajectory, the responses aren't clear-cut. It's evident that some possess abilities others lack, either in financial resources or the liberty to create a life on their own terms, unencumbered by external constraints. What stands out in particular is that while others who at one time considered Cody a partner have long since moved on, some remarried and lived quiet lives far from the public eye, his with Robin persists. It's not at all perfect and frequently criticized, but it is real. The illusions are gone. Cody no longer pretends to spread his affections over several wives. Now he accepts a monogamous reality. However taboo it is, the dissolution of his last household created a new opportunity for Cody. Free from the intricate requirements of navigating multiple relationships, he has embarked on a path inward, examining his past errors and taking action to heal old wounds in an attempt to settle old scores. He has endeavored to restore disputed land shares to his former business associates. Reports say that 2 of his ex-wives have received their rightful portions, signaling a willingness to seek fairness and perhaps peace. These are actions of growth and pragmatism, whether prompted by age, personal tragedy, or profound self-examination. There is a discernible softening in his heart. He no longer masks his pain with bluster. The overwhelming sorrow of losing a child has stripped him of any illusions. His grief is raw and unmistakable in the face of such great loss. Petty squabbles and ancient grudges become irrelevant, and his priorities start to change. Having previously been concerned with legacy and power, Cody now appears to be gradually but truly working towards healing. He's attempting to repair broken relationships, although how effective those efforts will prove is unknown. However, the mere attempt is new and important. Recently, they sold a parcel of land that was highly symbolic and sentimental. Half of the large proceeds were reportedly split between Cody and Robin. Speculation is that this money pays for their penchant for rare collectibles, high-end accessories, and valuable jewels. No amount of material possessions or wealth, however, can ever replace the worth of genuine reconciliation. And Cody seems to know that now. Clearly, Cody is more motivated by humility than by pride, as he strives to reclaim his children. Though they're grown, his daughters and sons still miss the father. They had once looked up to. Reparation in those relationships must be done vulnerably, a place he didn't seem to take before. But now, for perhaps the first time, he'll let himself share it. His public persona was once compared to a villain from the very world. He loves a black armored figure exercising power and control, but that role no longer applies. The armor is fraying. The mask is peeling off. What's left is a man defined by tragedy, who fights not for domination, but for healing and redemption. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for daily updates. See you soon.